Welcome to Knowledge and Proclamation. I'm so happy that you guys decided to join us again. For all of those who use this as a brief Bible study during the week, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all the comments and likes and shares. So continue to watch Knowledge and Proclamation, and we'll continue to try to bring new content. I've been gone for a couple weeks, actually adding some things to the website. So if you click around the website at knowledgeandproclamation.com, you can see the new content that we have added. Before our brief break, we went through the topic of truth. And the reason we did that is because we were surveying some apologetic concepts, talking about the things that Christians believe and why they believe them and why they're so important to the Christian faith. So we started with truth, and we explained that all truth is God's truth. All truth is objective and necessary for all humanity. This is because the Christian faith makes claims that are to be true for everyone. So the first and most major claim in Christianity is what we're going to go over today, and that is that God exists and that He is the creator of all the universe. Okay, so we're going to survey that topic, and after this introduction for today, we will move through the Bible, survey through the Bible to find texts that highlight God as the creator of the universe, and then that also highlight the implications of having a God who is the creator of everything. So we'll dive right into our lesson today and go over an introduction of God as the creator of the universe. So we understand that Christians get their understanding of God from the Jewish tradition, that there is one God, and that God is the creator of the universe. As such, Christians believe that all space, time, and matter had a beginning. This idea of a beginning to the universe has been philosophically argued over the years. The idea and understanding is that nothing happens without a cause, and there's always a reason for everything. And it was argued that God is the philosophical necessary reason for the universe. The question is, why is there something rather than nothing? What's the reason for that? Those early philosophers argued that God is the sufficient reason for the universe. Unfortunately, as long as there have been believers in God, there have always been those who do not believe in God and who have been intelligent and smart and who have philosophically argued against the belief in God, against the existence in God. Atheist David Hume, he asked this question: why may not the material universe be the necessary existing being? How can anything that exists from eternity have a cause, since that relation implies a priority in time and beginning of existence? Similarly, Bertrand Russell once stated, the universe is just there, and that's all. So we can see the implications of this understanding that the universe is eternal. If the universe is eternal, then there is nothing prior to the universe, and that means there's no reason to postulate that a God has created the universe, because the universe is always there. It doesn't have a beginning. Additionally, the appeal to God as the sufficient reason for the universe lacks substance, because everything can be explained by the universe's existence, and God becomes an unnecessary concept when explaining anything. Furthermore, the argument for God as sufficient reason doesn't conclude that God created the universe. It just concludes that God is the reason for the universe. If the Christian understanding of the origin of the universe is to be a defensible idea, it would be important to find physical evidence, science, if you will, that shows that the universe has a beginning. It's important to note that if God has created the universe, then God has created what we understand to be the natural sciences, and the natural sciences would speak to its being created. We will see signs of creation. So let's push forward. In 1914, Vesto Slipher announced that all the galaxies that he had studied to that point were moving away from our own. Later in 1925, Edwin Hubble, he would find that not only are all galaxies moving away from our own, but the farther they get away from us, the faster they move. These findings would come together and lead to the conclusion that the universe is expanding. And so, if you take the implication of the universe expanding, you can contract the universe in your mind as you go back in time. And this thinking is what led to the idea of the Big Bang. That is, the universe coming into existence in this cataclysmic explosion. Now, let me stop and give a caveat. Some Christians don't hold to the idea of the Big Bang because it does postulate millions of years for age of the universe. That is not necessarily what I'm arguing here. You can believe that the universe is young, that the earth is young, or you can believe in millions of years. The point here is that the universe shows signs of having a beginning. As I move on, also what scientists looked at when thinking about the Big Bang, they said, well, the universe must have been overwhelmed with radiation and heat at the time of its creation. And so we should still see remnants of that radiation and heat. And it just so happens that Arnold Penzias and Robert Wilson were doing satellite experiments, and they noticed that there was this, what they call white noise, that they could not get out of their satellite receivers. And what was finally concluded was that they had just discovered the background radiation that was part of the creation of the universe, part of the Big Bang. And so you have the expanding universe, the movement of galaxies away from our own. You have the remnants of background radiation and heat that can be detected electromagnetically. And other discoveries all come together to lead to what is really the popular understanding of the beginning of the universe, and that is that at some point in the past, all of the universe was in one point and exploded into this expanding mass of galaxies, stars, planets that we see now. And so that's the popular understanding. That's any high school textbook you open, it will speak of the Big Bang, the point of creation of the universe in the past. Now, philosophically, what can we draw from this understanding of the universe having a beginning? It was one philosopher who pointed out, and scientist, he said the universe was radiation dominated for much of its infancy. Much of this radiation was in the form of light, which corresponds fantastically to the words of Genesis 1 and 3, that God said, "Let there be light." So, what are the new conclusions that we can draw from this? Well, we ask ourselves, well, if the universe had a beginning, which it looks like it did, what can we know about this beginning? The beginning had to be timeless because there was no time. The beginning had to be spaceless. There is no space. And the beginning had to be immaterial. So we see this timeless, spaceless, immaterial, eternal cause of the universe. But you might be thinking to yourself, if there is a cause to the universe that is eternal, then the universe must be an eternal effect of that cause. But we know that's not what we see. The universe is not eternal. And this means that there's one more property to the cause of the universe that we can add, and that is personality, agency. This cause must be able to decide to create the universe. So we have a timeless, spaceless, immaterial being, an all-powerful being who has the power to decide and think and decide to create the universe. These are the major attributes that are given to God in the Bible. This timeless, spaceless, immaterial, personal being, all-powerful being who has the power to create everything within the universe. This is what the biblical understanding of God is. So, in conclusion, with just the evidence we observe from the universe's beginning, we are able to arrive at many of the traditional and biblical attributes of God. The observations, this is just what we observe in nature, reveal an uncaused, personal creator of the universe who has no beginning, is changeless, is immaterial, timeless, spaceless, and is enormously powerful. And so that's why we say as Christians, there is a God. He has created everything, and his creation shows signs, almost like his signature is put on it. So that's the reason when we look at creation, we can see that there is a God. So thank you for watching Knowledge and Proclamation today. I hope you learned something here, and I hope that this is edifying to you. Please check out our YouTube channel, Knowledge and Proclamation, our website, knowledgeandproclamation.com, as well as our Facebook at Knowledge and Proclamation. Please join us next time as we survey the scriptures and deal with the implications of having a God who has created all the universe. Thank you.